Thank you for joining us. So what does phase 2 entail exactly, and what are your thoughts on it?
Phase 2 is supposed to basically see the start of AARTO. So what they said is that they're going to use from now until December to roll out the system in a few municipalities. We will see the appointment of or the startup of the appeals tribunal. So that would mean that if you want to roll this out in some of the municipalities, is that you will have to promulgate the Amendment Act. In other words, the date needs to be advertised. Now, that hasn't happened. We also know that, we also know that the appeals tribunal hasn't been appointed yet. So we are questioning whether they are ready. Now, our Honourable Minister has said that there are problems, and we accept that. COVID had an influence on so many things. So we understand the problems, but we do feel that this just shows the crack in the fact that maybe administratively they will not be able to handle this and handle this nationwide. We all know that AARTO wasn't quite a success in Gauteng, Joburg and Pretoria. So, and just the fact that we were supposed to start with AARTO in July already, and then there was the announcement of the phases. So I think it unfortunately just points to the fact, or the question that will the department and will RTI be able to handle AARTO nationwide?
So maybe the fact that they're rolling it out in phases is an acceptance of the fact that, you know what, they're not ready to roll out the entire thing right now, and they need to do it in chunks. So let's look back to phase 1. Did they achieve what they set out to achieve in phase 1?
That is difficult to answer. I think that is one of the reasons why we are writing to RTI to ask. But, how far did you get with phase 1? Because phase 2, I think it makes sense that phase 2 won't be able to happen if phase 1 didn't. What worries us is that part of phase 1 was, education. It is about making motorists aware of AARTO. AARTO and the AARTO Amendment Act is very convoluted, and it is actually an administrative burden. So training and giving the public information is extremely important. And we are not sure that happened. I'm wondering how many people understand the system, how many people understand their rights, what they're supposed to do and not do. We're not talking about don't commit crimes, but, how are they going to enforce their rights? Do people still understand that if you live in Gauteng, in other words, in Joburg and Tshwane, you still have the right to elect to be tried in court, despite the fact that option is not on the website? And do they understand that option, once the AARTO Amendment Act is rolled out nationwide, that you will not have that right to go to court? Only after a very lengthy process may you be able to bring a civil review or appeal in the lower courts. So we are doubtful whether the department is, finished with phase 1. I think they are still struggling to get phase 1 done.
All right, well, they'll continue their rollout, but I believe you think the act in its entirety is unconstitutional. Why is that?
Yes. So and we are happy to say that this constitutional challenge is hopefully going to be heard 18 and 19 October, which is literally in weeks' time. AARTO Amendment Act, in the sense that they can send you a WhatsApp or electronic communication. Yep. And we just feel that the risk in electronic communication is too high if someone doesn't get it.
All right, well, that'll all be aired in court, and we'll wait to find out what the courts say. Advocate Stefanie Fick, thank you so much, the Executive Director of the Accountability Division of OUTA.